Hi, this is Brass Check, and this is about the coronavirus. We're recording this on February 25th, and we had hoped that the coronavirus was all hype. We thought maybe it was a way for China to rein in one of the more radical cities in the country, especially since they're having trouble with Hong Kong. But and we also thought, of course, the U.S. news media would jump on the hype too, because they get to make their big pharma owners happy. And if you don't think big pharma owns the news media in the United States, you haven't been watching the news media lately. Half the ads or more are pharma ads. But it looks like something more sinister, and I thought this was a possibility, but it's pretty much looking like this is the case. There's tremendous, strong circumstantial evidence that this was, in fact, a manufactured virus, a weaponized disease, that it was created by that lab in Hunan, and probably escaped. It probably was not deliberate. And the circumstantial evidence is that there's only one lab in China that is capable of making a disease like this, and it happens to be right where the disease was first discovered. Number two, this is not a normal disease, and all the nonsense about it passing from a snake to a bat and all that, it's just absolute bullshit. Early on in the process, doctors in China who drew attention to this disease and tried to warn the public were arrested and silenced, and I hadn't been aware of the extent of that until fairly recently. And then, of course, the extreme reaction China's taking, I think it's taking the actions because it knows exactly how serious this disease is, because they know who made it. And then we have the fact that there is Canada's highest level bioweapons lab in the whole country, which is in Winnipeg, had something stolen by the Chinese. We still don't know what. And then we just saw the head of the chemistry department at Harvard University get arrested for providing the Chinese with something biological. Again, we don't know what. It's all looking pretty bad. So I've collected some videos below. Watch them all. And they will give you some indication of what's going on. There is a esteemed legal mind who was enrolled by scientists at MIT and Harvard way back in 1985 to try to bring some law to this absolutely lawless world of creating offensive bioweapons. All the countries are involved, the U.S. Thousands of people wake up every morning in the U.S. and go to work to create weaponized diseases. At least $100 billion has been spent on this. So the U.S. does it, Russia does it, of course Israel does it, and China does it. And these labs cannot be built without the approval of the World Health Organization, WHO. So they know exactly what's going on in these labs. These labs, like the one in China, have no other purpose than to create offensive biological weapons. They don't have any other, that's all they do. And the World Health Organization approves, and who pays 50% of the World Health Organization's bills? Big Pharma. And who else is involved in this? Well, obviously, the Pentagon. They're the sponsors of the research. And who's joined at the hip with the Pentagon? The CDC. So this is why you're not hearing anything remotely honest and truthful about what's happened in China and what's coming to a country near you. They are going to do everything they possibly can to suppress the reality of this, which is that it came out of a bioweapons program but not limited just to China. This is going on all over the world and in the major countries. And it is Big Pharma supported. I guarantee Big Pharma is making a fortune from it because they've got to buy materials, they've got to buy expertise, and it's all coming from Big Pharma. And then, of course, the CDC and their psychotic obsession with vaccinating everybody for everything every 5 minutes, whether it's proven to be useful or safe or not, they're in the game too. So watch the videos and inform yourself of simple things. Wash your hands carefully every time you go out. Take your shoes off before you walk into your house. You would be shocked at how much stuff, biological stuff, you track into your house when you walk in with your shoes. Consider spraying your shoes with disinfectant, like Lysol. I'm not into that stuff, but when this thing hits, you're going to want to be very conservative. So that's the thing to do. Your coat, your winter coat. Hopefully you have some kind of a coat room. Why do we have coat rooms, coat areas in the entrance to our house? So we get those coats off and hang them up and don't bring them into the house. Coats catch a lot of stuff and hold on to it. So these are some very simple things that you can do to keep yourself safe. I'm not flying. I'm certainly not taking a cruise. And I'm not going to be hanging out with any large groups of people. So that's the news from Brass Check. And do watch these videos. They're very carefully selected, and you will learn more from them than 10,000 hours of watching the mainstream news media.